And so welcome to Gears and Beers' first ever test drive. Today we've got the all-new MG MG3, courtesy of MG Brisbane. Just a short, brief video today. We'll be going through the basic specs of the car. You'll come along with us for a little test drive through the twisties, and then Mitch and I will give you a bit of a verdict on what we think. So sit back and come along with us.
Very first Gears and Beers automotive driving review. Mitch and I have found our favourite patch of twisty road and we're hustling down it here at a pretty good pace. Mate, Mitch, what do you think? What are your first thoughts?
Mate, my first thoughts are the chassis is actually a lot better than I ever anticipated it would be. On centre, the steering is a little bit vague, I would say, but when it loads up, feels really good.
I don't know if you can tell from the video footage, but it is absolutely pouring at the moment.
We should mention that.
Yeah, it's not going to be a 10/10 driving review right now. But even still, in these dreadful conditions, it's going well. It's holding its own.
Right now it has got aftermarket wheels, dealer fitted, as well as Achilles tyres. So we can't talk too much about what the stock tyres would do. I mean, right now it's actually genuinely hugging the road, and it doesn't seem to understeer too bad.
I didn't. When I drove it yesterday, I don't think understeer is the right word. I don't think it was doing that.
No.
I mean, all the feel, a lot of the feel that it offers, it all comes from the front. The rear end is literally just there along for the ride.
Yes. Well, it's a basic torsion beam rear end.
That's one of the downsides, I'd say, of this car is the rear end setup. But in terms of the drive wheels in the front, I think for a little car at this price point, it's quite responsive. It doesn't make you want to hate yourself driving on a road like this.
No.
It actually encourages spirited driving.
You can definitely sense the MG history.
Yeah.
It is still here.
Yeah. No, I think so. And if you're into your driving cars, if you do appreciate something that offers a little bit of feedback and a little bit of reward, then I think you really come to appreciate the MG3. You may notice Mitch shifting up and down a fair bit here. It's one of those cars you definitely have to keep in the power band.
Yeah.
At the higher point of the rev range. Redline's about $6,000.
Just over. So redline is closer to, I'd say, 6.7, 6.8,
and then your peak power comes on at about 6.
Yeah, I would be keeping it above 4.
Yeah.
Probably 4.5. Would be keeping it above. Because that's where the engine really starts to becomes fairly responsive at that RPM. I know last night when I was going for a bit of a drive, I put it into third when I really should have kept it in second.
No, you got to hold your gears here. Really hold your gears. In a sense, it's a good thing it's a manual. You have full control over that. I don't know how this sort of drivetrain package would go with an auto, but I think in manual, guys, you have total control over it. You can keep it in the higher revs, and you can work with it. There's not a lot of power there, but it makes the most of what it's got.
Absolutely. I was going to say it's very playful with its power.
I thought it was quite linear as well. Even by naturally aspirated standards, I feel like the power comes on quite progressively.
I mean, when you read the spec sheet,
you wouldn't think it at all.
I mean, only a 1.5 litre, 78 kilowatts, I believe it is.
Yeah. And well under 200 newton meters of torque.
Oh, well under. It's like 130 something.
Yeah.
Get it in that high RPM, it just goes. Like I'm honestly genuinely surprised at how good that little engine is.
Yeah. Considering it's a 1.5. For
1.5
with more like donkey power, not horsepower.
Yeah.
But it makes the most of it. It is a shockingly good car to drive, and I mean that in the best way possible.
Definitely.
This is the cheapest, most basic MG on the market at $13,990.
Yep.
This is the core model. Even still, you can still see and feel when driving it that the engineers here have actually put a bit of thought and put their back into how this car handles on the road.
Definitely.
It's definitely, you know, it's one of those cars that you have fun in the corners.
Yeah.
It's a twisty road car. It's a momentum car.
Yep.
In many ways, it is like the MG suggesting.
Oh, absolutely. It's you gotta learn how to drive this car. You can't just, I guess, punt the right foot and just keep shifting gears and go crazy fast in the straights.
No.
I mean, that's not what this car is about. I mean, if you break it down, this car is for going to the shops.
It's commuting,
Exactly.
day to day driving.
First car, maybe second car. I think they've built a cracker of a car.
Oh, absolutely.
What I would like to see in a future version of the MG3 is independent rear suspension, maybe even a turbo on the front.
Ooh, that'd be an absolute cracker.
Oh, mate.
That would be a little firecracker of a hot hatch. That would make it go next level.
Yeah.
Because the potential is all there.
Oh, there's a lot of potential here.
Absolutely. Alright.
Down to first.
Down to
Alright.
first. What is the gearbox like in this thing, mate?
Mate, I thought the gearbox should actually be the letdown.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking, if the car, it lives up to the hype and all that, and if it lives up to the MG brand, the gearbox at this, price point is probably going to be a little bit rubbish.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's so much fun. Just to, flip the throttle and shift down gear. Like I'm playing with the gearbox just because I can.
Yeah.
Like I do this in my 86.
Yeah, I know. I've never missed a shift.
Yep.
I drove for a good hour and a half last night. Never missed a shift. It's very positive. It's got good feel. There's not a lot of weight behind it, but that's necessarily a bad thing.
No,
you know?
it actually puts me in mind of an older sports car.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like maybe 90s era, maybe, but in the best way possible.
I'm super shocked. Super shocked. Man, look at you just.
Yeah, I'm just playing with the gearbox, mate. It's great.
That's awesome. It feels well oiled, and it's a positive shift.
Oh,
It's got good weight to it. You know?
It's rewarding to shit. Like
I can believe
you get a lovely sensation.
Great little box.
I guess the only downside I can see is that it's a little bit sloppy.
Yeah, there's
Slightly,
a bit of
but
slop in it.
in a lovable kind of way. Like it's not like my mother's Volkswagen that has about a good meter of slop.
Yeah.
The gearbox is probably my favourite part about this car.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Play with it. You can just play with it. It's like a toy. It's great.
I think the handling's the best part of this car.
Oh,
I think. I reckon that when you're at 7/8 tenths, I think at 10 tenths it'd fall apart. My favourite part of the car is the suspension, the way it handles.
Yeah.
It's the front end doesn't wash out at 7 or 8 tenths anyway.
Yeah.
It's very predictable.
Yes.
You can push it, and it inspires a bit of confidence. You show it a bit of twisty road, I think you'll actually respond quite positively, and that's a high praise for a car that's only 13 grand.
13,990.
With a 6-year warranty and 6 years roadside assistance.
It's unbelievable.
Okay. What more do you want?
The argument can be made, why not buy a used car?
Yeah.
But really,
after driving this and experiencing it and seeing what MG offer,
yeah.
I find it extremely hard to recommend a used car over this. I mean, if you're a learner, if you're a P plater looking for a first car, if you're a parent looking to buy your teenager something to get around in, I think that warranty,
Yeah.
with the price is really hard to go past.
Definitely. That warranty, I mean, it means MG believes in the product that they're selling.
They stand behind it. Absolutely.
And it looks more expensive than it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, what were we behind last night? A Kia Picanto or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
No.
Jack, no.
No, it doesn't look or drive like a 13,990 car should. I mean, at 13,990, it does have the usual cheap car.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of hard plastics in here.
I mean, but that's true for any car of this bracket and this category.
There's not a lot of infotainment.
Yeah.
I think it's a very basic, very standard sort of car. An awful lot of technology, in terms of interconnectivity and whatnot.
Yeah.
You got no real sensors in the base model, no reverse camera, no sat nav.
Yeah.
But the core package, the driving package, is bang on.
Yeah. And that's what I like about the MG3 is that each of the three specs, thank you, the exact same engine, the exact same gearbox.
Yeah, no, you don't get stitched up if you pick the base model.
Exactly.
You know? It's not as if they kept the good engine to the top of the line one, and they don't really hold you ransom in that regard. You know, the fundamentals are there across the board. And I think really, even despite the top of the line model getting a lot more of that tech I was talking, I really don't know if you'd want to go for it anyway. I think that the value equation is so strong here, particularly if if you love your driving. I think if you're not too fussed. I mean, like you and I, we're not really too fussed about the lack of sat nav and things. And the car, it's a small car. I don't really need reverse cameras and sensors. I mean, they're nice, but they're a want. They're not really a need.
Exactly.
And I think everything you need is in this base model.
Which I think would be the one I'd have.
I think so. I really do think so.
But that's because you and I are drivers. It has Bluetooth that works well enough for, playing your tunes or your Kanye's and your Whoosy Watsits.
With your hip and your up and
Exactly.
the up. But if you're not big into your driving, then maybe the benefits this car offers, you won't be concerned about.
Yeah.
You may not appreciate it. But I think if you are into your driving and you do like going for a bit of the fang, then this would be the car.
Responsibly, of course.
Yeah.
So a sneaky little driver change. So we can get Joseph's perspective on the little pocket rocket that is the MG3.
That's right, our little candy-coloured pocket rocket MG3. And I did drive this up a mountain road yesterday, but that was in the bone dry, so now we're going to see how it goes in the wet. I love how this car handles.
Yeah.
I think for a little hatch, it holds its own in the bends. You're right, I think dead on, it is a little bit, ambiguous.
Yeah, until the steering loads a little bit,
Yeah.
then you get a bit more feel, so you sort of have a better idea where the wheels are in relation to what you're doing here.
Yeah.
But dead center, there's a good couple of degrees of...
I think once you go past 10 and 2,
Yeah.
once you go to that point and beyond, I think, it's well weighted.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't leave you, wanting more feedback. It doesn't, make you lose confidence. I think it corners quite well. It's definitely a momentum car.
Yeah. The only way you notice the slight numbness on center is if you're going quick changes.
Yeah.
That's the only time you're going to notice. When you're going on like a regular sort of mountain road, even around town, you won't really notice that it's not as direct.
In the engine, there's not a lot of power here, but it's very preppy. It makes you want to rev it out. It's very sporty in that regard, something I wasn't expecting at this price. Yeah.
I was expecting an absolute dog of an engine, but what we got was a playful puppy. It wants to be played with. It wants you to rev it out.
It wants you to scratch its, scratch under its ear.
Exactly.
It's a really rewarding little car to drive. There's not much happening in the rear.
No, it is just along for the ride.
Yeah.
It's basically just there to support the rear.
I'd rather this current setup over just mediocrity all round.
Yeah.
I'm in second, and we're doing a just under 60, and we have to keep the revs up in this car. No doubt about it. I am just over 4 now, and I think that's where what power this engine has. That's where it makes.
Yeah.
67, 50 red line power. Sort of maxes out at about $6,000. Like all low-powered cars, you can have an absolute hoot in this thing.
Yeah.
All under the legal limit.
I was going to say, not break the limit.
I mean, I'm full. That's 100% wide open throttle. We're not at 60 yet. Not at 60. The speed limit here is 80. And we were nearly at red line there, and we weren't even doing 70.
You get the sensation of speed
Yeah, you do.
without breaking the speed limit.
You feel like Ayrton Senna. You're just banging through the red lines here. You and I are very split on the topic of the exhaust note.
Yeah.
You think it's good?
Yes.
I think that's probably one of the weak points of the car.
I think, when you get it on point, above that $4,500 mark, I think it has a nice little
Growl to it.
Yeah, it has a sort of a buzz and a growl to it that I quite like.
I just think it's a low point relative to the rest of the package.
Okay.
The steering is good, the gear shift is great, it's so positive. I just think relative to the rest of the package, the exhaust is a bit of a letdown. Another thing I wanted to mention is the weighting of the car. This car feels a lot heavier and a lot more solid than what it actually is.
Yeah.
And I think in a small car like this, that's actually a good thing. You've got 6 airbags.
6 airbags as standard,
As
even
standard,
in the base model.
even in this base core model. You know, you're right. The gearbox, it's just begging you to shift through the gears. It's real, you know, Fast and the Furious style. You know,
Yeah.
30 gear shifts. You know, in one drag race. You want to do that, though.
Yeah.
It somewhat rewards you.
Well, as I was saying, I was just playing with the gears because I could and because it was so enjoyable.
I do think though, around a twisty road with no traffic, you'd want to be in second.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing, you know, like a lot of low-powered sort of sports cars, like your MX-5s or like your 8.6s, you can have fun. You can push this car to the limit, you know, at relatively safe speeds. This car here, you can really rev it out, and you can really get to its maximum on the road.
Yeah, there's one thing I want to talk about that you and I were both very surprised to find in a 13990 vehicle.
Oh, I think I know what you're referring to.
Now,
Something that I wish our $40,000 cars
that
had.
would be lovely. Hill start assist.
Hill start assist, hill hold on a manual.
On a manual. So basically the idea is when you add a set of lights on a hill, like a stop sign on a hill,
Yep.
and you have your foot on the brake, when you take your foot off the brake, the car will hold you there for a couple of seconds. No rolling back, no nothing. And then when you build the revs and you know the clutch comes out, you just take away.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay. You know, it almost feels like if you do a hill start with a handbrake and you hold the handbrake, you know, for a split second too long.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of resistance there.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you know, you don't roll back. You don't have to pull the handbrake every time you go up to a hill. It's just super convenient.
And I did not expect
love
to
it.
find that
No.
in a car of this price point.
Absolutely.
As far as driving goes, it's a very sorted car.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. One thing that I think you and I want to touch on as well is the brake feel. You think that there's a little bit of travel before it sort of bites? On this road now, I don't feel that's the case. It's a very firm feel. You know, there's no real numbness to it. You can sort of modulate it to an extent. They're very small though, the rotors. I was looking at them before we said. They're like teacup saucers, really. So I dare say you probably couldn't take it to a track.
But I mean, you're on the downhill part right now.
Yeah.
Have you noticed any issues with the brakes?
Like I said, on a mountain road like this, you know, you can modulate it well. It's got plenty of feel.
And there's more brake than engine.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. This car stops a hell of a lot better than it takes off.
Yeah. Which is what you want.
The brakes are definitely not an on-off switch. It's not as if there's nothing, and oh shit,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going through the windshield. It's not as if you tap them and they're really severe. You know, you really have to work your way in. They got bite to them. I think they got feel.
Oh, definitely. They're more than adequate.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely more than adequate. And which is shocking. Like I said, I've said it before, I'll say it again. This car to drive is shockingly good. I literally and genuinely cannot believe this car is as good as it is.
Yeah.
So as you can tell, we really like the MG3, and once again we'd like to thank Brisbane MG for lending us this car for the weekend. You can find all their information in the description box below, their Facebook and their website. If you have any questions about the MG3, feel free to hit up Clinton and his team. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to answer your questions. As we said in the video, that the car handles really well. For a car of this price, I don't think anything else in that market segment can match it on handling. Steering is fantastic, the suspension's really good, the engine when you get up in the high RPMs is a lot of fun to drive, and it's a lot of fun to shift as well. That gearbox is excellent. Once again guys, we'd like to thank you for watching our review of the 2017 MG MG3. You can find us online at gearsandbeersmedia.com. If you have any questions or comments, please email us at contact@gearsandbeersmedia.com. Thanks guys.